should push it in, but not just Marvel. Let's talk about all of Disney. So for this last part here, we're going to discuss everything that Disney has to offer, and the Super Bowl and other stuff. So Disney is rocking it with Marvel, with Lucasfilm, with their own stuff. I mean, I haven't seen the final trailer for Beauty and the Beast yet, but I've heard nothing but great things. So I'm super excited to watch the trailer, but I'm even more excited to see the movie. I mean, they've done fantastic so far with all of their, with all of these recreations of live action versions of the famous cartoons that they've come out with. They've done a fantastic job, and I couldn't be more excited about all of it. Um, so it's going to be great to see that movie coming out. Emma Watson plays Belle. Josh Gad plays Gaston's. Lemieux? No, not Lemieux. Lemieux? I don't know. Gaston's little guy. Um, it just looks like it's done very well. So I can't wait to see it in a couple weeks. That being said, with Josh Gad, and going over to Marvel, one of Marvel's entities, not one of Disney's entities, not necessarily Marvel, but Lucasfilm. Last week they announced on last Monday, last Monday, Lucasfilm announced that Star Wars Episode 8 is now titled Star Wars or Episode 8: The Last Jedi, which awesome. Um, and there's this whole shroud of mystery around it. How can who is the last Jedi? What are the last Jedi? Because Jedi is plural or singular, as I said last week. But is it just Luke? Is it Luke and Rey? Is it Luke, Rey, or Ben? Is it Snoke? Is it a character we haven't met yet? Could it be Maz? Could it be, there's a whole bunch of possibilities that it could be because it's so vague. But again, they're not really coy. Lucasfilm has never been coy with the titles. And in the scroll of episode 7, it said Luke was the last Jedi. But that was the scroll before we saw that Rey was force enabled or force ready, or however you want to say that. So the so with this mystery surrounding the Last Jedi, the title of the Last Jedi, Josh Gad has been taking it upon himself, probably most likely with the accepting thumbs up from every nerd out there, to at any chance each week corner Daisy Ridley, who plays Rey, and harass her in a loving way, harass her to figure out what the Last Jedi means. And by all accounts, he's trying. He really is trying. From one nerd to another, I love you, Josh Gad. And I think you're doing a great job trying so hard to just get that mystery surrounding the Last Jedi out of Daisy Ridley. And I have to give props to Daisy Ridley for holding on to dear life. The only thing I ask is that hopefully we get a teaser soon. Maybe we get one in the next couple days so that a trailer comes out at Super Bowl, because Disney is slated to come out with a possible trailer the Super Bowl this coming Sunday. No word has come out yet after the initial news of talks with the heads of Disney and Lucasfilm to discuss the fate of General Leia after the unfortunate passing of Carrie Fisher. Again, I'm sure there were contingency plans for any of the cast, of this happening to any of the cast, whether it be the legacy cast of Mark, Harrison, and Harry, or the new cast of Adam, John, and Daisy. So it's very you know, all eyes will probably be on whatever decision they make. Mostly for episode 9 because she is in episode 8, whereas we will get one last glimpse of Carrie Fisher as General Leia or Princess Leia, however you want to remember her, in episode 8, The Last Jedi, which, I mean, if she's The Last Jedi, that would just be perfect. Hats off to everyone at Lucasfilm and Carrie Fisher for pulling that off. Along with more Star Wars news, EA and DICE announced in their earnings call that they are working officially on a release for Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the holiday of 2017. So the end of this drab of a year, around the holiday time when I have no money because I'm getting gifts for everybody that I love, including myself, Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be released. And there will be a single-player campaign, which for people who don't like to play with other people like myself will love. And it's rumored that the single-player campaign will stretch upon a multi-Star Wars era, which means it will go through the entire full Skywalker saga of the prequels, the main trilogy, and the sequels. And Rogue One. There's going to be content from all of them. Whether it's going to be released at the official release date or expansions afterwards, we don't know just yet, but we were told that there is that. Now, Skirmish for the original Battlefront, which came out in 2015, has been discontinued for the original Star Wars Battlefront. However, a community manager today had said that there would be more updates coming to Star Wars Battlefront. However, the main focus will be the release of Battlefront 2. So maybe at E3 we'll see some stuff from EA and or DICE for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Or we'll just see new content. I don't think there's going to be a new expansion like there has been for Battlefront. I think all the focus of that will come over to Battlefront 2. But we will definitely get to see an exciting Battlefront 2. Hopefully the single player campaign will hold up. And the multiplayer will still be there so that people will want to play it, but there's at least enough content so that people will want to continue playing. And they don't run into something like Titanfall 2 or, some of those other multiplayer games that lose its lust because there's only like 3 maps or something. So, and I'm not saying that's what happened to Titanfall 2. It's just an example that. Another good news coming from the Star Wars universe: the Han Solo standalone movie starring Alden Ehrenreich comes out. Started production. They tweeted out a picture of them holding first production slate, and titled Han First Shot, which is a play on Han Shot First, between Han Solo and Greedo, the infamous who shot first in the cantina. So it's really exciting to see what that is. Again, I always have my reservations with standalones. However, if they go the same route as they did with Rogue One and film it completely different from how the Skywalker saga is filmed, being that it's a different type of movie, we're in for a huge treat. Donald Glover plays Lando Calrissian, which is going to be really exciting, and so on and so forth. So I think we're in for a good movie. Well, I mean, we'll see when the first footage comes out, but break a leg to everyone involved, production staff, and all that. We're all rooting for you, so that's always a good thing. Coming out of Coming out of Lucasfilm, we transition over to another one of Disney's subsidiaries, which is Marvel. Marvel has been pretty quiet as of late. Couple big news things coming out, but nothing really of note. Um, the biggest news is that Black Panther has also started production, and their cast. I mean, looking at this list on IMDb, Sterling K. Brown from This Is Us and from American Crime Story OJ, Forrest Whitaker, who just starred as Saul Guerrera in Rogue One, and he's been all over the place. Chadwick Boseman comes back as the Black Panther, and T'Challa. And I mean, he was mind blowing in Civil War. So I mean, you know, perfect fit. Gets his own movie. Angela Bassett comes in from American Horror Story, and of course Lupita Nyong'o. Um, you know, she played Maz in episode 7, but she's just been fantastic in every single movie and play that she's been in. I am just dumbfounded by how amazing this cast is, and I don't think I'm the only one. So I super excited for next year for when Black Panther. I mean, what more can I say about my excitement for Black Panther than I'm really, really excited for Black Panther. Um, you know, it's gonna be good, and you know, judging by who they have in their cast, this could actually be in the contention for an Oscar gold, like for the award season. Um, and I mean, I'm excited Deadpool was nominated for the Golden Globe. You know, I was a little upset that it didn't get nominated for Best Picture in the Oscars, but I mean, it's a comic book movie. Comic book movies do have a long way to go. However, something tells me Black Panther is going to be very different. And I think come this time in 2 years or 3 years, we might very well see a Black Panther um, nomination. And maybe not in Best Picture, but writing, directing, or any of the actors supporting or lead and or actresses, those categories. I really do feel as if this movie is going to open up another door, and further the what Deadpool has already started to do as far as award contention for a movie, for a comic book movie. Um, so I can't wait to see this to see this movie and to see any and all news coming out for it. Unless it's news of someone getting injured, which I don't want to see because I don't want anyone to get injured. So be careful. Break a leg, but be careful. Don't break a leg. Um, other news. There's been interviews going around of different characters. Like Vin Diesel's been doing interviews for Fate and the Furious, or Fate of the Furious. There's interviews. The press cycle is going to start up soon um for Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Man: Homecoming. We're starting to get a picture as to who's slated to be in the Avengers Infinity War. Now, that movie was going to be two movies, and now it's going to be just one. Um, we're starting to get a feel as to what characters to look forward to, and what characters, might be a surprise or just might sit this battle out with Thanos. So, um, however, it doesn't paint a full picture yet. We're getting a better picture the more we hear from it. Again, these are just, you know, they're coming in for an interview for something completely different. Again, Vin Diesel was probably there for Triple X, the third Triple X movie. Um, he plays Groot. Batista was doing some stuff for WWE, and he was asked questions about Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which then led to more questions about Infinity War. Chris Pratt will get the same thing, and so on and so forth. So we're getting a clearer picture. However, it's still kind of bleak because we are so far away from Infinity War. I mean, we have excuse me. We do have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 coming out, Spider-Man Homecoming coming out beforehand. So, we're inching towards Avengers Infinity War. Um, you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. I mean, these movies are not suffer these movies are doing well monetarily, but to knock Warner Brothers and DC again, um, they're really, they're made well as well. They're written well. They're produced well. They're crewed well. They're casted well, and the creative people are really allowed to do what they're paid to do, and that be creative. Excuse me. So um, maybe possibly during the Super Bowl. Well, why don't we just talk about it? So Super Bowl is coming up this Sunday, and that is a time that we get to see a lot of trailers, along with those cool cutesy commercials, which uh um the commercials we usually get to see this year. Apparently, they're going to be a lot more politically driven because of everything that's been going on in the United States, which is affecting the world and everything. Which I hate to say, but that's the truth. So, a lot of we are, I have found out through my own channels that a lot of these commercials are being um, a lot of these commercials are being written and made with a little bit of political innuendo, shall I say, written into it. So I mean, I usually look forward to the trailers, the movie trailers and stuff like that, because these are usually the ones where they like pull out all the stops. Um, not necessarily a tie in to the football game itself, but hey, you never know. You know, it could be a great it could be great, it could be terrible. Two movies that we know are definitely going to be debuting their trailers is Transformers: The Last Night, the latest of the Transformers franchise, and Ghost in the Shell, which stars Scarlett Johansson. I don't know much about Ghost in the Shell. A lot of like, I think it was either a comic book or an anime or something like that. Um, you know, and Scarlett Johansson is in it. So that will be one of the trailers. It's also being pushed that Warner Brothers and Disney will have trailers. However, it might not necessarily be a Marvel or Star Wars trailer. Disney also does have Pirates of the Caribbean coming out, as well as Cars 3 um, this year. So the trailers could most likely be those movies, and not necessarily something from Marvel or Lucasfilm. But they do have Guardians of the Galaxy coming out. Spider Man is also coming out, so they also have some trailers that we see. And of course, the big kahuna Star Wars Episode 8 has to show their first trailer. Although Kathleen Kennedy did mention that we're not going to see anything from Episode 8 till spring, so that leaves me to believe that something else is coming down the pipeline, and I mean, they know it, not us, so. Um, so that is, something to look forward to. Um, this weekend. And so I, some edit, some notes mention about this weekend. I clearly will not be streaming on Sunday because of the Super Bowl and the trailers and stuff. But be sure to catch me back here again Wednesday night at 9 p.m. We'll discuss the trailers and any other major news that comes out. Feel free to text me, to tweet at me. I will be getting this episode and last week's episode up on YouTube as soon as I can. Works a little crazy because, things. I am very, I'm back to doing mostly full time. It's just it's a little weird to do stuff when I've got things going on. I watched the Royal Rumble with my buddies on Sunday, and happy with the results. Randy Orton won, and he's going to be right now facing John Cena at WrestleMania. And it looks like we're gonna get a Roman Reigns and Undertaker match at WrestleMania. So that will be cool. Unless they put the title on one of them. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so the Super Bowl is this Sunday, so I will not be streaming. I'm very sad to say. However, it's necessity because there is no way I can even go up against the Super Bowl. But yeah, so I want to thank every single one of you for coming out. Eric the Great, thank you so much for all your comments, and I think I went over every single one of them. I hope you're still here. If not, I'll see you soon. Crit Camp is taking a break this week. Chris is out of town, but I think they'll be back on Monday with some crazy cool stuff. They're doing more Star Wars Destiny, which I kind of want to get in on. So if you could tell Chris to do that, that'd be great. And then I think we're going to be doing some more, I don't know, Small World and maybe some stuff. But I it's great to be back, and it's great to talk about all this stuff, even if it's negative. I mean, you know what? It's constructive. It's constructive criticism. That's what it basically is. It's constructive criticism. So I want to thank every single one of you out there for watching tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much for watching there. Podcast, thank you so much for listening, and I'll have this up as soon as I can. I will talk to you later, and everybody enjoy yourselves. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.